Hello, everybody. Hello, Facebook. Gonna do a double stream today. So we got Facebook, got YouTube over here. Let's turn on the video for that. Hello, everybody. I'm gonna do a little bit of chatting today about some topics that came up in my membership Q&A that I host 3 times a month. But before I share some of this with you, I want to give you a coupon code. If any of you have ever wanted to check out my classes, you can go to my website. I'll put a link to where I believe to be the best place to shop on the site for the money for what you get. And I'll do that as soon as the video ends. But the coupon code is H123Social20. You can use that and it'll give you 20% off on the website through the weekend. All right, let's talk about what's going on and these questions. Topic today is what's holding you back. I kind of threw some questions out to the group in my Q&A that I host, and I thought it would be cool to share it with you here. So let's do that. Again, Facebook, if you see me looking over here, I'm talking to one screen, and YouTube, if you see me looking over here, it's a Facebook thing. Check out the group Shellist Blues Harp Tips if you're not in it, YouTube friends. Here we go. Let's go to the whiteboard. What key harmonicas do I need? What I would do is take a second here. The questions get a little more involved than this, but this is for beginners to start. And what I would recommend doing is just sort of like have a moment and answer the question in your head. So you can compare what I'm going to say to what you think. Harmonica key, it just depends on what keys you want to play in, really. But for beginners, the most common ones are going to be in this order, my recommended keys that I would tell you to get. C, A, G, D, B flat. And I would want to own all those quite quickly, even if I was only playing for a year or so, if I thought I was going to take it seriously, because there's so many songs that utilize these key harmonicas. They will serve you for a long time. After that, I'd go right to the low F. That'd be my number one recommendation. The Rocket low F, as a matter of fact. Here's a Rocket low F right here. All right, so yeah, those are the keys I'd own, but I'd be thinking about what kind of music you want to be playing, what keys are going to come up most, and then understand that in the harmonica world, you have choices for position work, what key you want to play that key in. Okay, you get the point on that. Next question. Which position should I choose? This is a great question to think about. What position should you choose when you're about to improvise or work out a melody, possibly, for a song? While I'm doing that, let me see if I can pull up. There it is. Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm just looking at the chat real quick. Good morning, Tim and everybody else checking in. So check it out. Peoria. I am not in Peoria, Illinois. You're close. What's up? Okay, cool. Great to see everybody checking in over there. So what position should you choose? Well, some people might be thinking, what the hell's a position? And then there's your real question is, what is a position? And then from there, you might be thinking, well, I only play 2, so that's a dumb question. What position should I choose? That's going to be easy. Not necessarily. If you play 2 positions, first and second position, and if you play O Susanna or whatever, that's first position. If you play at least 2 positions, you got to consider, and especially for both improvisation and melodies, where that phrasing is going to fall in the harmonica. What key will it put you in? So you're in the key of C, but you're not sure if you want to play it on a C harmonica, an F harmonica second position, or a B flat harmonica in third. How would I know, Ronnie? Well, you would sit there and probably work it out on each one. This is what I do. I sit down and I pick up each one and I play the melody in various positions, or I try to improvise to the song. And it's really important to do this because you might get trapped just defaulting to a position and you constantly go back to it. The key to unlocking your creativity and spontaneity and improvisation, and in music in general, is to switch those up so that it's fresh for you. If it's not fresh for you, then it's going to be a disconnect. So you might find that, ooh, that first position really changed the way I think about moving in this song. But the phrasing, try to hear what phrasing sounds like as it is associated with a particular position. I can hear that in my head. I can recognize position work when I hear it in recordings, and this gives me a really good frame of reference for how I might choose that position. We might come back to that question. It's a good question. Yeah, like if you're accompanying a song, you might want, like Tim was saying, you might want second position, but you also might want first for the solo. You might switch it up and do multiple positions. It's just a matter of understanding what the moment is calling for and experimenting. How do I overcome technique that's holding me back? How do you guys do that? What do you do to work on overcoming? To maybe you don't do anything and you're just playing for fun and you really don't take it as serious as I'm laying out here today. But what do you do to overcome technique that's holding you back? What do you do? Just have a minute and think about that. What are the strategies that you engage? This is a big question. It depends on the technique. Number one is maybe start recording yourself more often to hear what it is that you want to target and maybe improve on or change or whatever. But what do you do to work on it? I think you have to examine this I'm just doing this off the cuff, but I think you have to examine it from the perspective of what is it that I'm trying to overcome and what are the current issues that are going on. If you can identify what's happening that you don't like, you're quicker to get to the point where you figure out what needs to be done to fix it. So you may not know what the fix is, but if you know that, for example, bending is a huge topic. My bends are wobbly. They're weak sounding. They just sound weak. I can usually kind of get the bend where I want it to, but it just sounds like it's weak. Like the note is just simply weak. Then you have it now you have a point, something to work from there. It's like, okay, so I would guide you and I would tell you if I was working with you, well, then examine airflow and relax, because the airflow itself might be the answer for you to straighten out that note without having to work on tongue position and all that. Make sense? Or if you might have to say, well, no, it's pitch control wrong. I just can't get the pitch right. I can get it loud and strong, but the bends are all over the place and it's pitch control. Well, then in that case, I'm really sitting there having a moment and thinking about how quickly am I moving my tongue? Where is it in relationship to the top of my mouth? How much pressure is happening upward and backward? I think of the upward pressure to lock in the bends, forward and back to change the pitch. And what most people miss in bending is that these movements are can be between a half step movement might just be such a small movement in the mouth. It depends on the technique, but overcoming it might mean somebody had a great answer in the Q&A. They said, hey, I step away from it. And I'm like, that's perfect. That would be something I would recommend to those that are frustrated and they're banging their head against the wall, trying to get past technique, or just feel like overall they're just stuck. Take a break. Just listen and don't pick up the harp. Put it down and listen to music and get inspired again and then start fresh. And it might only take a day or two and then you can sort of come back to it. Somebody's working on volume control while using throat vibrato. Any tip? Volume control while working on throat. Everything always ends up coming back to breath control often. You know what I mean? So volume control will work. So what's happening, Michael? Is the volume all over the map? Is it quiet? Is it loud? Give me a little more info. We'll come back to you. Okay, we're going to come back to there's overcoming technique means identifying what is really happening to cause the issue, and you might need to work with somebody to get to that point. But the other half of it has to do with really trying different angles. Don't get caught doing one thing and going, it's not working. It's not working. It's not working. We'll come back to this. Okay. This is a big one. We're going to sit here for a minute. So what's the best way to develop improvisational skills, everybody? What's the best way to do that? If you like this format, by the way, most people are joining me inside of my Zoom platform where I'm pushing to YouTube right now. And you can ask your own questions in these classes. So it's a really wonderful format. Improvisation this is a huge topic. It's what I think about more than anything else in the harmonica world. It's what I work on, and sort of my focus is improvisation beyond collecting melodies and learning songs. I want to just become as strong of an improviser as I can be because it's what I enjoy doing. Listen, number one is pull from different influences. Like, don't have just one or two influences, harmonica music. Pull from all sorts of things and really become eclectic with what you listen to. I love listening to jazz and all different types of jazz. So that means, New Orleans jazz, and I'm listening to traditional jazz, and I'm mixing it up, funky jazz and bluesy jazz. There's all these different artists you can get into, but you have to seek it out. I'm listening to folk music and country music, and I'm listening to rock, and I'm listening to a little bit of classical. I listen to everything. And you'll find that in the oddest moments of music, you become inspired, or you hear something and go, wow, like I could do that, or I could pull, it gives you an idea. Each instrument phrases differently. So listening is a big one. Getting excited and getting motivated and inspired by these different genres. But you can work on improvisation loosely by putting on a backing track and just having fun. I know most people probably do this approach more than any. They're just sort of like in the moment, they put on the track and they jam, or they put on a song that they're familiar with and they play to the song. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not very focused. So you identify an angle is my suggestion. What are you really trying to improve on before you sit down with a backing track? Get focused, like sit there and have a moment, meditate on what it is that I really want to work on today. What do I want to do today that I didn't do yesterday? And like somebody might say, tone. I don't like my tone. Slow down, play less. Use the track and try to create big sound. Try different positions. Try different embouchures. Experiment beyond what you're currently doing. And you might need to get those ideas from watching more videos and seeing what people are doing and hearing it. Seeing it can help too, though. And then, write down what your goal is and just remind yourself that on that moment, you're going to evaluate tone for a second. Try to create thin tone, big tone, all different shapes of tone. We were talking about that in the summit with Mad Cat. Tone modulation and shaping sound inside of your mouth, and how you can really begin to take one clean note, not play it so flat, and have a really nice sound going for a note that you could just change up. Angle might be I'm going to work bass lines today, or I'm going to work phrasing. I'm going to try to leave a lot of space. I'm going to work position work and work first position only. So I've talked about angles before. Limiting the movement on the harmonica on specific holes or registers that limit you to where you have to be more creative and get more out of less on the harmonica. Improvisation's never ending. I'm going to work on triplets. I'm going to work on fluidity. It could be anything. It could be I'm going to work on telling a story, something that's a little more loose in a sense where you're not sure how you're going to go about it, but that is in the back of your head and guiding you as you play. Try to step outside of yourself and listen to what you're sounding like when you're playing it. Like have a moment where you try to hear it objectively as it lays against the music. These are moments that you'll instantly be able to, it's like having a lucid dream. All of a sudden it's like, ooh, I'm in it, but I'm also kind of outside of it. And you can control those moments if you're paying attention. And you can steer them and direct. You'll find a calmness, I think, in those moments when this happens. Because often the opposite is happening, the deer in headlights thing. You're up there playing with your eyes open, going, I don't know what to play. I don't know where to go. Well, you got to let the music, you got to let what you do play really say something. So there's a million angles for improvisation, though. So let me go to the chat. What are you guys chatting about? I haven't looked at any of this in a while. So that's interesting. So Jared, hey, what's up, Jared? I'm working on something for an hour straight doesn't always achieve results. Absolutely. Sometimes the 5 to 10 minute sessions are the most powerful sessions. And what happens is you only have 5 minutes waiting at a bus stop or right before you walk out the door, but you're a little early and you got 5 minutes and you just pick up the harmonica and do one chug or one thing. And those can be super productive. And then, some people can work 5 hours and be hyper productive. So I could argue it the other direction too. Let's see if Michael responded. It's quite loud when I make it sound good on 6, for instance. Oh, so your vibrato. So controlling the air is as easy as it should be, which means to just relax. Usually, if you just relax, the air will sort of settle. Usually, why volume happens is excitement. We get excited and we just sort of the volume increases. And when you don't increase and you slow roll your airflow, slow roll the air, you'll find that energy becomes more tangible. You actually are even now more locked into that energetic feeling of nerves, let's say, but you can guide it and channel that into your playing. And so I think about it, Michael, from coming from the perspective of relaxation. Just try it right now and see what happens. Like, really just allow yourself to, don't consciously try to alter the volume. Just relax. Yeah, and it does help to listen to people face to face. Like, get out there and listen to players in person is very different from listening to records. Yeah, playing with tension. Hey, Hank, what's going on, buddy? So all these can, there's so many angles that you can take, but the key is, I think what I'm trying to drive home is that these are just random questions that popped into my head. By the way, I announced that I have a discount code H123Social20 going on. H123Social20. It's just for my Facebook group and for my YouTube channel. I'm not putting that out in an email or anything. It goes through the weekend. You can get 20% off of a recorded Zoom class or a downloadable lesson if you see something on the site. It's not good for shirts, merchandise, memberships, and things like that. Just classes. Good through the weekend, though, so check that out. They usually come with notes, and they're fully recorded, about an hour and a half to 2 hour lessons. It's pretty reasonable, I think. Sounds reasonable to me. All right. So last question I have is, does Ronnie sell harmonicas? And the answer is yes. I finally actually have a resource and a way to let you know that you can support me if you want to buy harmonicas through me, through my affiliate link that gives the option to purchase through Guitar Center or Sweetwater. I'll put that up at the video description after the video is over, but I need to put more product on that page, but I have, like the basic Honer stuff is what's up there. But if you see something, don't see something up there that you want to purchase, let me know and I'll put it up there. I can get a hold of anything that pretty much that Honer sells, cases, harmonicas, etc. And it throws a couple bucks my way. It's something. So that's what's going on in my world. I'm working on my next class. I have an idea of what I want to offer up, not this weekend, but next weekend. So if you're not on my newsletter, go to harmonica123.com and join that newsletter. Subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed. And I'm going to come back and do, I don't know what's next, but I know, like I said, I have an idea for this class coming up. I just don't want to spill it right here and change my mind because I love being spontaneous with these classes. And often that means that there's a last minute decision happening because I'm super inspired to do a particular topic. But yeah, the last thing that you can check out from me would be the Peter Madcat Ruth Harmonica Summit. It was wonderful. He taught us a bunch about using rhythm syllables and showed us his style of rhythmic playing and tone modulation. And he shared some stories from Big Walter lessons that he had back in the 60s. That was pretty cool. And we had a grand old time. I think I'm all caught up here. I don't know. I'm going to check one more time. Good morning, everybody. You do Marine Band 364? I do own a Marine Band 364, not in front of me. They're not as airtight as buying a Rocket Low. So I would rather be playing this Rocket Low than a Marine Band. I mean, the Marine Band has 12 holes, the 364. But I don't need 12 holes, and I can buy the same keys in a Rocket Low, so I prefer those. Thunderbird's a cool harp, but I still prefer the Rocket Low to the Thunderbird. For me, for just my approach and my style. Hey, you're going to see Nick Clark in Denver. Excellent. You will enjoy that. I have no plans to come to California. I don't have many plans right now at the moment to do a whole bunch of traveling other than some local opportunities here. I'm just super busy and I got a lot going on. here at home as well. So I'm probably going to stay close by for a minute. I always like to put it back out to everyone. When are you guys coming out this way? The great Midwest is waiting for you. You know what I'm saying? The great Midwest. Come out to Central Illinois. Check it out. All right, you guys, I've got to run. Thanks for hanging out with me today. It's great to see everybody. You guys make it a great day. YouTube, don't forget about the coupon code H123Social20. You'll find that at checkout. You can enter that coupon code for some downloadable classes if you would like to. And yeah, I hope to see you very soon. Adios.